following the Uzbekistan game, we were able to look at it and point out things that we could have done better. We know this is a different game. It's hard to compare the two, a 5-4-1 against a 4-4-2 diamond, but I really like the mindset of the guys. I like the intensity of the group. I think Christian, as captain today, really set the tone with his intensity and work rate, and that's the starting point. So I think we're happy with that. Some good ball movement, finding the opposite side of the field, getting them to shift, good attacking moves. Overall, pleased with the performance. And again, as Michael mentioned, the solutions making a difference in this game. I thought the players that came in did well also. So overall, pleased with the entire camp. It's good to see the guys, good to get touch points and time with the guys. And it was a really good learning experience for us all in this camp.
All right, Herc, thoughts on the U.S. performance against Oman? Was it enough of an improvement from what we saw against Uzbekistan to satisfy you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously more than enough. Solutions, you heard Greg Berhalter. He means substitutions. He means substitute players coming on, trying to make a difference. Actually, that's Bobby Warshaw, a podcast he used to do with Greg Berhalter while he was working for U.S. Soccer, where he explained that the solutions part came from Omar Gonzalez, his ex-teammate, when they went to Galaxy. Yes, because the bar was so low, Sebastian Salazar. I mean, Uzbekistan could have been up 2-1, 3-1 at halftime, if you will, if not for Matt Turner coming up big, 1v1 saves in that game. So it was so low that you expected some sort of reaction. Not easy to get a reaction, if I'm being honest. Oftentimes you can just get into that funk, but there was a very good reaction. I mean, listen, they thoroughly dominated Oman. Very good individual performances all around. Not an easy thing to do when you're trying to test new faces, maybe a new formation, if you will. So from Greg Berhalter, from that part, for him and this U.S. men's national team, it was a very good win, a very good performance.
Yeah, much improved, I thought. I think we have to acknowledge the difference in quality opponents. Berhalter there talked about the setup. If you go off the FIFA rankings, there's only... Actually, I think Oman is 73rd and Uzbekistan 74th.
You're right.
We saw both in how Uzbekistan played against the U.S. Also, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, how they played against Mexico. They're much better. They played Oman a couple months ago and won 3-0. So I think you can chalk that up to some of why the U.S. looked better. But, Herc, for me, there were two things that I really liked about the U.S. performance. Unlike what we saw against Uzbekistan, where they score in the first 10 minutes of the game, again, the U.S. got an early goal here. But they didn't let down. They didn't take their foot off the gas. You are correct to say that against Uzbekistan, it could have been 2-1 Uzbekistan. It could have been 3-1 Uzbekistan at the half. Against Oman, I think Oman was lucky not to be down 3 or 4-0. So we saw, one, a good start, and then the ability to keep that going. And beyond that, Herc, I think we saw not just patterns of play, which is something you always want to see, especially against inferior competition. We could pick out patterns of play, and those patterns of play were effective. This idea of getting the other team to slide all the way across the field, dropping it at the feet of Weston McKennie, and then these McKennie switches, Herc, they are damn near lethal. Maybe lethal's not the right word, but they're very dangerous. There's a good chance created almost every time the U.S. does that. We've said for a long time under Greg Berhalter, we don't see the patterns of play. We hear about them, but we don't see them. I'm not the most trained eye, but I could even see it last night against Oman, Tuesday against Oman.
I'm glad you brought up the patterns of play, and I will get to those when we talk about the system. But let's stay on Weston McKennie, because that's as good as I've seen Weston McKennie in quite some time. Listen, I understand the opponent, it's Oman. I understand it's an inferior opponent. You're completely dominating them. But Weston McKennie is a big reason as to why you're dominating. One of the most dominant performances I've seen from Weston McKennie. Granted again, the opponent, but he was as good as you could imagine, and I was really surprised, given his club situation and lack of playing time, that he would have liked.
Yeah. Clean sheet, win, and both of your number 9s get on the score sheet, right? I mean, if you're checking boxes about as well as you could hope that it would go against Oman in Minnesota.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.